welcome to this episode of the W Podcast. Today we are talking about how soft people are.
Yeah, we just had a nice steak dinner and we're talking about the difference between, having the feeling of having accomplished something and not. And then, we all spend time on the internet, right? On Facebook, on Twitter, on everywhere. And you see some posts about, oh my God, my life is so hard. Oh, hi, Billy. Oh my God, my life is so hard, and I have to go to school in the morning, and it's so tough. And then you compare yourself to, people in the 1920s who lied about their age to get into World War, and now we have people, lying about other things to get out of getting homework. And it's the dumbest thing. And the question we ask ourselves is, why? Why would you want to be soft? Is it something that's desirable?
I think it can really start with the participation awards that they started giving children.
Yeah.
Like, even if you are in last place, you get an award. And real life is just not like that.
Well, the ultimate participation award is being alive. Right? Out of all the sperms that your daddy put into your mommy, because yes, there's a man and a woman there, right? You won. So there's your participation award. So you won already. Now, what's the next step? Like, how are you different from the people around you? And you're a kid. You don't necessarily have to be all about winning. Like, it's okay to enjoy life a little bit. But Jesus Christ, you're playing soccer. You're playing in a tournament, right? There's going to be 10 teams. What's the point of playing a tournament if you're not going to have a winner?
I feel like it's just not reality. Because in life you have winners, people that are successful, that do very well, and you have losers.
Right.
So just by giving everybody an award, you're automatically teaching people that you just have to do the bare minimum and you will still win. Which I feel is a lie.
Well, you're not going to win.
Exactly.
You're what, 5'1"? Are you ever going to play in the NBA?
No, never.
Why?
Well,
because you're 5'1".
I'm short.
Right?
Am I ever going to be a Victoria's Secrets model like I used to want to?
Yeah.
When I was younger. Well, I realized I am way too short to ever do that.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Could I be a Victoria's Secret model? No.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, thanks for the compliment. But I am 6'3", 235 pounds, and I'm a man. These are things that work against me when it comes to my lifelong dream of becoming a Victoria's Secret model. Closest thing I could get is maybe marry one. I don't know if I want to do it these days. Models they used to be kind of the pretty people you kind of wanted to get to know. Now, I don't know, man. I saw some people walk in a walkway today, and it was scary. I'm not going to name any names because you want to be careful with these things, but Jesus Christ, man.
They were thicker women.
They were men.
Oh.
Wearing women's clothing. And again, look, it's 2024. I get that you have the right to express yourself, but also, what about, what happened to having ideals?
Standards.
Well, standards, but even ideals, like Jesus Christ. You have super manly men and you have super feminine women, and this gives you something to look up to. Like, when I was growing up, my idols were Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and the action heroes. And who were they? Like, super manly men. Who are the idols of today? Who are they?
Well, I guess it depends who you are.
Right, but most...
And who you look up to, because I'll say people like Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozy, Andrew Tate.
For you,
but...
yeah. And these are people who have reached a level of success in their respective fields, which is impressive. If we're talking about soft people, like, let's say kids who get participation trophies in grade 4, let's say they're age 10, and they get a participation trophy. You think these kids are going to grow up to be Tony Robbins or Alex Hormozy or Andrew Tate or whoever? Like, how? What's the path from being told by your mommy and your daddy and everybody else that, oh, you can do anything, and your skill is just as important as someone else's lack of skill, and you grow up with that and you get into the real world? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I don't get it.
The thing is, they're not learning the reality until then, like you said, they get out in the real world they realize, oh shit, it's a lot harder than I actually thought, and then they have a complete mental breakdown because it just shatters what they were taught when they were younger.
Exactly. And what it is you lie to your kids, guys. You're lying to them because you're telling them everything's going to be okay, and it's not. And it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, like, take a deep look inside yourself. Has your life been a series of magical events?
No.
No, right? And you're pretty blessed. So there are people who have a lot worse. And so that's not what it is. Life is a series of pretty difficult events that have some high moments. And sure, high moments are important, but that's not what you live for. High moments are easy. It's when you walk into a bar and everybody's looking at you, and everybody's giving you attention, and everybody is in love with you, and everybody's giving you whatever the hell you want.
Main character energy.
Exactly, main character energy, well said. But how often does that happen? Like, have you read a book or seen a movie recently? There's a main character, sure, then there are supporting characters, and then there are the extras. And let's face it, guys, most of us are extras. I'm an extra, you're an extra, we're all extras in someone else's book. And it's fine. But you have to know these things, and then knowing that you're an extra, be the best damn extra you could be. Like, how many Elon Musks are there in the world? Just one. He's doing all right. So, knowing that he exists, to me, it's kind of a sign of relief, because that means that I don't have to save the world. Someone else can do it. I can save myself and then my immediate environment.
But then again, how many can there be? How many people are willing to put in the amount of work that he puts in?
Fucking nobody, man. Fucking
Exactly.
nobody. Everybody's thinking, oh, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, sure. Have you thought about what these people do? They have no social lives. They have no leisure time. They're billionaires in paper only. Because do they have $1 billion in their bank account? I don't think so. I don't think anybody has $1 billion in the bank account unless they're in between transactions. And you could talk about this because you're in finance, so you know what it's like. Well, like, all these people's net worth is basically based on the perceived value of all of their assets.
Exactly.
It's not actualized value. And then you want to say you want to tax the rich. Sure, tax them on what?
How?
Do they generate revenue?
They
No, they don't.
own anything.
Exactly.
They don't own anything. It's invested in their companies, in like you said, assets. It could be in stock, it could be in various companies. So do they own it, or is it owned by their company? Is it owned by their trust? Is it owned by other means? They don't really own it.
And why would they? What's the point? Would that make it better for them? Like, we're talking about super high achievers. People whose driving force is to keep getting more and more and better. Oh, hi, Billy. And, we're talking about people being soft. Again, those soccer kids who are 10 years old, who are, let's say there's 100 of them, so the 10 teams of 10 starting off in a tournament, and at the end there can only be one winner. Well, do you think that having a mentality of winning no matter what you do drives you to become a high achiever later on in life? If so, please explain to me how. Because I'm all over social media, I'm all over work, I'm all over my friends. I would love for someone to challenge my point of view and basically tell me, hey, Yuri, you know what? You're wrong. You're wrong because participation trophies are important because they make you feel good. And if you feel good, then you're going to become a better and stronger person. But that's not how life works.
That's not how life works. Nope. So they're essentially lying to these children, saying, no matter how you do or how you perform, you're still a winner. That is just not the facts. In life, if you do the bare minimum, you're not going anywhere. You will stay the bare minimum. It's all the higher achievers, like you said, the people that are willing to put in the hours of work that are going to win in life. It's not going to be the person that just, cries or gets by just working in 9 to 5, 40 hours, the bare minimum. They're most likely not going to succeed compared to the person that's willing to put in 100 hours of work and give it their all and just work every single day to get what they want. Because you're competing with those people. You think your bare minimum of 40 hours is going to get you in the same position as somebody putting in 100 hours a week?
But it can't.
No.
I mean, but it's just impossible.
It's impossible.
Just think about it. You work 40 hours a week, right? right? Over a year, that comes out to 2,000. Let's say you have 2 weeks vacation. That's 50 weeks times 40 hours, 2,000 hours. If you do work, and I'm not saying work a job, but if let's say you put in 100 hours of time a week where you're progressing on something.
Self-growth, your own company.
Right, whatever. Your
Whatever
own company,
it
your
is.
personal life, your physical training, your children's well-being, your relationships well-being, whatever. Let's say you put 100 hours of time in your life improvement in general. That's 5,000 hours over a year. So in 1 year, you're 2.5 times more advanced than somebody else, which is ridiculous if you think about it. So in 2,000 hours, you make a couple of mistakes, but in 5,000 hours, you make way more mistakes. And the more you make, the more you learn. And that's another thing, guys. Stop being afraid of making mistakes. Admit to yourself that you don't know anything and that all you have to do is learn. And that's it. Because how many teenagers do I know personally who are 13, 14, 15 years old and they know everything?
Arrogant.
Right? Because people keep telling them that they know everything and they should. I mean, how often have you heard, "Oh, you should stay the way you are. You're fine. Don't change. You're okay the way you are." No, you're not. Dude, you're 13 years old. You don't even know how to talk to people. You can't even tie your own shoes, and you think you're fine. How does that translate to later on in life? You know?
The thing is, if you think you know everything, you cannot learn. If you cannot learn, you cannot improve.
That's right. That's right.
So-
and how, like, look at yourself in the mirror. This is a theme here. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, "I am the best that I could ever be at everything." And then think about what that statement means. All right? That means that right now, wherever you are the best version of yourself ever, right? What's the point of having a tomorrow? Explain that to me.
If you're already the best.
If you're already the best, that means you can't get better. That means if you can't get better, means you can only get worse. So that means that your future is basically going to be hell because you're just going to keep getting worse and worse because you're the best you could ever be. Like, what am I not seeing here?
You've already hit peak.
Exactly.
How can you get higher than peak?
You can't. By definition, you can't. So you're at the top of everything, and yet, who are you really? What have you accomplished? What have you done that's so fucking great that, you know, you deserve that kind of recognition? How can you have that voice in your head that's telling you, yes, I'm the best I could ever be? It makes no sense to me.
No, I don't know how people can think like that. I know everything. I am the best. I am a 10. Oh my god, I hate when I hear people say
Jesus.
this. Because I'm like, if you think you're a 10, you think you're perfect.
Yeah.
Which means if you're already perfect, how do you improve?
And right, and then look around you and tell me, are you really better than everybody you know? Okay, maybe in your social circle, you're at the top of the food chain. That's possible. And if that's the case, here's my message to you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Facts.
It's the truth. Like, look, let's say we'll use the gym as an example because that's kind of where I compare myself to most people. When I'm young and I'm at a gym and I'm in the top 5 of lifters, does that mean that I'm in the top 5 lifters worldwide? Probably not. So what I would do to humble myself is I would go to a lifting gym. Here so I grew up in Montreal, there was a gym that's called Pro Gym. I don't know if it's still there anymore at this point, probably not. But anyway, I would go there and all of a sudden not only was I not in the top 5%, I was at the bottom 5% because everybody was better. On all measurable statistics, they were better than me. And then, am I really that good? Or am I just surrounded by people who don't challenge my version of reality? Think about it a little bit. How good are you? And look at your place. Are you happy with yourself? You could be happy. I'm not saying you should always be unhappy. I'm just saying there's always room for growth. And what's the point of living? You know?
If you're not growing, you're just remaining stagnant.
Well, what are you doing? What's your day-to-day like?
And if you're not growing, are you really going to be happy also with yourself? If you're just remaining the same, what are you working towards?
Well, nothing. And you want to hear the cure to misery, and that's what it is. Just challenge yourself and get a little bit better. It could be anything, man. It could be lifting something heavier. It could be talking to someone that you wouldn't think you had the guts to talk to. Guys, this is my problem. I'm just turned 40 years old. Still have a hard time talking to pretty girls. Recently became single. What do? I talk to them. Is it hard? Fuck yes. Harder than anything I've ever done. But, stop overthinking it and just move and do it. The cure to anxiety is action.
Just do it.
Just do it. Copy off of Nike. Just do it. Just move. Do something. Just stop sitting there and thinking about how awesome you are and just do something hard, man.
Well,
which goes back to our previous episode, actually.
It does, actually.
Yeah. Do something hard.
But the thing is, if you're just sitting there and you're thinking, you're not doing nothing. You're making the problem worse. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
You're going over it time after time after time.
Yeah.
But you're not taking any action, so you're never going to change your situation.
Exactly.
You're just causing anxiety or stress because you're thinking of something. But if you took the action to actually improve it, then what do you have to be anxious and stressed about?
Nothing. Because you're improving. And even if you're not improving, let's say you fuck up and you make a mistake and you make the situation worse. Let's say you go talk to that pretty girl and she spits in your face and calls the cops on you. Okay, maybe, first of all, that's never going to happen. But let's say something terrible happens and she, I don't know, whatever. Let's say you feel worse after. At least you don't have anxiety anymore. At least you've tried it. And are you going to fail? Dude, you're going to fail so often, it's not even funny. And every single one of you who can listen to this, usually, unless you've been disabled, and if you are, I'm sorry, this message is not for you, but you know how you learn how to walk? Look, my son is, at this time in 2024, 3.5 years old. He fell on his ass more times than I can count. Did he stop? No. And look at him now. He can walk, he can jump, he can do whatever the hell he wants. He deadlifts.
Yeah.
He did a deadlift of 30 pounds yesterday. He's 3 years old, weighs 30 pounds. He deadlifted his body weight.
I saw that, guys.
Yes.
I saw it.
There's actually a video of that. I'm not going to share it, but there's a video of that. So why does he do it? Why does a 3-year-old toddler make mistakes in the hopes of, being better at something? Because they actually want to be better at something. So if a 3-year-old can do it, why can't you? Are you saying that you're perfect? And then, this goes back to the previous argument. You're not. You're really not.
Nobody's perfect, guys.
Yeah.
Not one single person on this planet is perfect.
Exactly. But can you be better than you are today? Ask yourself this. Are you the perfect version of yourself? Maybe you are so far. That could be true. Like, I'll look at myself as an example. I've never been in this good shape. My finances are doing well. My relationships are doing great. I feel pretty good. Am I the best I could be? Dude, I'm just starting. I'm still a fetus in the goal of reaching out to the perfect life, because if I wouldn't be, then what am I doing? Should I be content with what I've achieved? I mean, I'm happy with my life. Sure, I'm not crying about being miserable. I also wake up every morning and I challenge myself to do something that's a little bit harder. And I compare myself to me.
I like to say, be proud, but never satisfied. Never comfortable.
Exactly, never comfortable.
Be proud of what you've achieved, because we've all had achievements, things that we should be proud of.
Yeah.
But always strive for better. Always strive to be 1% better every single day.
Exactly.
And then it'll add up over time, and you're going to be way better next year than you were last year.
Exactly. It's consistency, guys. It's, time value of money. So how do you make money really? Invest in a small percentage points and wait 1,000 years and you're all going to be billionaires. So I don't know if you remember, did you ever used to watch Futurama?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the first episode, the guy is freezing, right? And he wakes up 1,000 years later and he wants to buy something. I don't remember what it was, probably a pizza or something. And he goes into his bank account and he had like 90 cents or $4 or something 1,000 years ago. But with the power of compound interest, he had $1 billion.
I remember that.
Right?
Episode. Yeah.
But like, how did that happen? Because compound interest. It's the same thing with everything in your life. You want to work in your relationship. Let's say you're shy. You want to learn to talk to people. Well, start by, dude, same, right?
Yeah.
So what do? start by talking more to your friends. Then maybe you start meeting people in social groups. Maybe, you need some liquid courage. These things happen. But then you get better and better at it. And eventually, you don't need liquid courage anymore. And you don't need a group of friends. And you're able to, go to talk to someone on your own. It doesn't have to be someone who's you're intimidated by. Like for me, I started talking to just random people at the gym. Just, oh, hey, what are you doing for this workout, for example? Because I'm interested in learning how to get better. And then I learned to talk to everybody. And now, like at this point, I work in sales, just because to me, it's fun. It was kind of a natural progression from being a shy, introverted person, which I still am, by the way, and kind of becoming stronger and becoming someone who's actually able to overcome that anxiety. It's still there. Every time I open my mouth, I'm beating myself. But it's easier now because I'm stronger.
Everything starts off hard.
Sure.
Everything starts off difficult.
Yeah.
But you just have to work on it day in, day out, keep trying, even though you fail.
So many times. But it's not really a failure, is it?
No.
Because you're not stopping. A failure is only a failure, really, I think, when you do something
and give up.
And you give up. And
then
giving up is the failure.
Then you failed.
Yeah, you have. But even if you have given up, don't lose hope, man. Just start over again. Like, how many of us have gone through dark spots in our life where just everything was going wrong? It could be because of mindset, it could be because of circumstances, it could be because of anything. Like, we've all been through COVID. It was, like, to me, it was hell, man. I was in a dark place.
Oh,
but
man.
Jesus, like, it ends, There's always going to be good times and there are always going to be bad times. Just accept that some things you can't control and just do the best you can with the situation you have. Some of us are living here in Canada and are complaining because we're not making $100,000 a year. Well, sure, but if you're not doing anything about it, you're not going to get any better. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you right now, there are some people who are currently mining in the Congo those precious lithium batteries that you guys use on your smartphones, and they're smiling. So why are they smiling and you're not? Do you know? It's because they understand that their life could be so much worse, because it has been worse. So if ever you feel bad about yourself because your life is so damn hard, why don't you go to the Congo and mine for lithium diamonds? I'm serious. Go do that. Instead of buying an all-inclusive paid vacation down south where you could watch beautiful people and get hammered all the time, buy yourself a nice trip to the Congo. It's probably going to be slightly more expensive for airfare, but the good news is you won't have to pay for a hotel or accommodations because these people sleep in caves for 2 or 3 hours, and then they wake up the next day and work 20 hours.
I feel like it's because we don't realize what we have, nor do we appreciate it because you're born with it. You're born into a first world country.
Yeah.
You never had to deal with these struggles, so the slightest thing negative happens to someone and it's the end of the world. They do not know how to cope with it, simply because you're already in a first world country. And is it really that difficult if you get up and work every day and work towards a goal, and eventually you will get where you want to be? If you put your mind to it, you write down actions, make goals, and work every single day towards it, you will get it. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, you may fail. You probably will fail. You'll fail a lot. But if you are very consistent with it and never give up, you're going to get it.
And the key to that is to stop getting your kids participating in this.
Yeah, because it's not teaching them anything.
Well, right.
It's kind of counterproductive.
Because if you give them participation trophies, they're going to think that, oh my God, I just have to show up and everything's going to be fine. And honestly, half the time, you're kind of right. Like, I live in the corporate world in 2024. Show up, know how to talk, dress nice, groom yourself. You're all right. You're gonna be fine. But let's say that you don't live in the corporate world of 2024, but you live in the corporate world of 1994, for example. Different ball game, a lot more competition. So what happens then? You think guys with participation trophies in the 70s grew up to be successful career people who got enough cash to be able to raise their families? Fuck no. That's not the way these things work. So what are your options now then? Let's say you grew up a softie who thinks that everything's given to them. You can't keep a job because you have reasons why it's a bad idea to work, because you have PTSD from things
From
that
what?
From what really? You've never been to the army. Like,
Yeah.
what do you have PTSD from someone telling you that what you believe in isn't 100% the truth? Like, Jesus Christ.
People can't accept that nowadays, though. It's let's cancel them because they don't see eye to eye with my views. What happened to just having an argument or talking something through? You might not see things the same way. Instead of just going, oh, you don't see it the same way as me, let's cancel them.
Yeah.
You know, you don't believe in this, canceled. Like, you don't agree with me, canceled.
Really, what you're
So
doing when you're
toxic.
canceling someone is you're saying, I cannot be challenged and my idea is too weak to be challenged. And so instead of actually arguing my point, I'm going to do this. La 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 la. Which is what kids do. Remember?
Literally.
I mean, it's imaging it, but that's what kids do when they don't want to hear you. So what are you, a child? If you are, then okay, great. You have nowhere to go but up. But if you're an adult and you have children, maybe you should teach them to get better arguments. And if their arguments are not sufficient, then maybe they're wrong. And you know what? That's okay. Mm-hmm. Because you will be wrong way more often than you're right. And how, like, dude, I'm just starting to get my life on track. And I'm 40 and I'm wrong all the time. And I fuck up all the time. All
know
the
what?
time. Jesus.
I own a business, a construction company. You know how many times you run an ad or something doesn't work out or you lose money or something happens? It would be seen as a failure. Are you just supposed to throw in the towel and give up? Or you just push through it and keep going?
Exactly. Because if you throw in the towel, what's going to happen? Like, you're a business owner, you know what's up. You don't make money, and then what happens?
Well, the first year, if you're starting out on a business and it requires a lot of capital, you're probably not profitable for a little while when you start a
Right.
company. So what are you supposed to do? Give up?
Well, what happens if you do?
Well, then it doesn't succeed and you just invested all this money and it goes nowhere and you lost all this money now.
Yeah, and who are you then?
Nothing.
You're nobody.
It didn't work.
Exactly. And
It
you know,
didn't
we're talking about
succeed.
failures. That's failing is only just stopping after something hard happens to you.
Uh-huh.
Succeeding is failing multiple times at different things and learning from those failures.
Well, they say failure is first attempt in learning. If you don't fail, you're not going to learn. Like, the best thing you can actually do is fail over and over and over again, because I find, especially with investing, with whatever I've done, the biggest lessons I've learned, my biggest takeaways, were not in the wins, but in the failures. I find personally, I learn much more through failing rather than succeeding.
Because failing is hard.
Yeah, it hits you hard. It
Failing
like,
sucks, man.
punches you.
But you remember that. You remember
But you
it. It actually
remember it.
does something, right?
I think it's because you remember the negative emotions
Yeah.
a lot more than the positive ones.
It's evolution. Why is that? You know why? Because positive emotion, it's fine. Like, let's say you only have positive emotions. You're just going to continue on living your life. But let's say you eat a flower and then you puke. You're going to remember to not eat that flower anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because if you eat it again, maybe you'll puke again, and it's an uncomfortable situation. Same thing about, you know, taking a walk and having one of your friends killed by a mountain lion. Guess what? Maybe next time you take a walk with your buddies, you're not going to go up that mountain because there's a lion there who eats you. So you learn from those failures.
Yep.
Like you've evolved to learn from failures. So what you're saying is, all you atheists who believe in evolution only and nothing else, right? And you know, that's another debate, we'll get into that another time. But let's say you believe in evolution and nothing else. So you know you've evolved for billions and billions of years from single-celled organisms to whatever it is that you are today. Let's say emergent property of consciousness based on biologicals. Let's say that's what you are. to get to that point, evolution is survival of the fittest. And the fittest are people who understand, not even people, just animals, who understand that some behaviors are dangerous and stop you from reproducing. So what are you going to do? You know, there's a lion down on top of the mountain and you want to take a walk out with your buddies. Don't go up that mountain, guys, go swimming. But not the river with the crocodile, the other one. Because remember the river with the crocodile, one of your other buddies got eaten. Eventually, your buddies, there aren't that many of you left because a bunch of you are fucking idiots who keep putting yourself in shitty situations. And, you know, let's transpose that from the hunter-gatherer society we're imagining now to Montreal or let's say the Western society of 2024. What do you do when you make a mistake? First thing is you understand that you make a mistake, and then you don't repeat it.
The admitting you made a mistake is a hard one for some of you guys. Because a lot of people make mistakes, and they will literally blame everyone else for their own circumstances. I swear.
Yes. I know this, unfortunately, to be true way too much. Just because I used to be that person.
I used to be like that too, but how unsuccessful were you when you were like that?
I was living on a straight line all of my life until I decided to say, you know what? Maybe this person who is giving me some advice knows a bit more about the situation that I'm going through than I do. So let's maybe take their advice. It could be good or it could be bad, but it's definitely different from what I'm used to. So let's take their advice and see what happens. And guess what happened? It was good advice. Exactly. slowly getting up and up and up. And again, we all compare each other to other people. We should really compare each other to ourselves. And look at you today, and then look at you a year ago. And then find whatever KPI or key performance indicator you want to compare yourself on, and then ask yourself, are you better? And if so, how? And if so, what did you do to get better? And if you're not better, explain. Why aren't you better? What have you done to not get better? And then understand that that's what a mistake is you not growing in whatever key indicator you choose to evaluate. Could be anything. It could be lifting, it could be your shape, it could be your finances, it could be your friendships, it could be your relationships, it could be your style of clothing, it could be the apartment you live in, it could be, I don't know, whatever, dude, the size of your hair, the length of your hair, that's weird. But it could be anything, right?
Could be anything, but the key factor is you cannot blame other people for your mistakes, for where you are today. You have to take full accountability and be like, I am here because of me and me only. Yeah, okay, maybe it was someone else as well. Yeah. Like, okay, let's say you're with a partner and they cheated on you. Yeah. Is that your fault? Well, you picked that partner. So in the end, like, you know what I mean?
It is though.
You still picked that person. So, okay, maybe it's not your fault directly that they cheated on you, but you picked the person that in the end cheated on you. So maybe they were throwing up some red flags that you didn't pick up on or you chose to ignore. I don't know. At the end, just blame yourself. And because you blame yourself for everything, even if it isn't your fault, your life will improve. Naturally.
That is such good advice.
Yeah.
That is such good advice. Just literally blame yourself for everything. And whatever happens in the world, it's your fault. Like, COVID is my fault, personally.
You caused it.
I did. It's 100% my fault. Guys, here's a tip. Oh, it wasn't China. It wasn't the Americans. It wasn't Fauci. It was me, Yuri Sapko. COVID is my fault. I take full responsibility for it. And because I take full responsibility for it, the next time something like that might show up, maybe I'll be smart enough to kind of take a step back when someone's trying to push something into my throat and kind of step away, analyze the situation, and maybe try to look at it from a different point of view. Because look, if everybody's telling you one thing and everybody agrees, how often does that really happen? Never, right? So if you have the governments and the media and the businesses and the rich people and the athletes and the celebrities and everybody who's any kind of authority figure agreeing all of a sudden on one thing when usually during times of peace they can't agree on anything.
Something's fishy about that.
At least that. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but it's worth listening to it and maybe trying to analyze it. Maybe try to get different points of view. And if you can't get different points of view, then you're definitely fucked. Then there's definitely something going on. Mm-hmm. Better safe than sorry. And like you said, man, dude, blame yourself. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe in reality it's not your fault that COVID happened. Okay, sure, maybe it's not. But maybe next time something happens, you can be a voice of positive influence in your environment. Maybe you're not going to be the person who pushes rash decision making on the people who are closest to you. I'm just saying.
And yeah, maybe also COVID wasn't your fault. Let's say, okay, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that was none of our faults. But let's just say, okay, it's my fault.
You accepted it.
You accept that it's my fault. So what are you going to do during this time in order to help your position? Personally, meanwhile that was happening, I didn't just sit down at home and do literally nothing.
As most people did.
Exactly.
Most people did get collecting government welfare. Mm-hmm. How did that go?
Did you do that? Did you just sit at home and do nothing? Like, personally, I did not stop living my life. I kept doing the same things as I was doing previously. Because in my brain, okay, if this is a huge thing and everybody's gonna die, well, why am I gonna stop living my life? And that's gonna be the last moments is me afraid,
Right, what's the point if you're gonna die anyway?
So in my brain, I was like, well, let me just keep going and figure out how I can take advantage of this situation.
Yeah.
The stock market at that time had tanked.
Crashed.
And I was
That's
just...
the best time to buy too.
What I was doing was literally just looking at a bunch of opportunities in the market that pulled up, and I was like, oh, this one is good, this one is good. And
it's like a fire sale at the grocery store, dude. Just go and buy everything.
Personally, that's what I was doing. Meanwhile, also, like, okay, a lot of businesses shut down.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, if there's a lot of regulations and this and that, and you can't exactly work, well, you can't go about it, but you could still be like, okay, when I can, maybe I'm going to line up a bunch of work for when I can start working again. But I didn't just sit there and, like, be super afraid and collect money and do nothing and cry like a lot of people I feel did.
Because it's the easy thing to do. Oh my God, the world is ending, blah, blah, blah. And look, I get it. Life is scary. But it's scary on a regular day anyway.
Day-to-day basis.
Like,
yeah.
How many of you have really moved up in classes in the last couple of years? Not that many, right?
Or took advantage of that situation. Like I said I did.
And you
when the market
did,
tanked.
Your life from before COVID and now?
Significantly improved.
Much better across all levels.
And why is that? Because of mindset. Because
exactly.
I didn't just sit there being afraid and did nothing. I was like, there's an opportunity here. So how am I going to benefit from this opportunity? There's always opportunities that present themselves if you're looking for them.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're driving around and you're like, pay attention to that red car or find a red car. How many are you going to see?
All of them. Most cars will be red.
Exactly.
In fact, if somebody asks you afterwards, hey, what's the color you've seen the most? You're going to be like, Jesus, red.
But if you're never looking for it, it's never going to appear.
Never.
That's why if you're not looking for an opportunity, you're never going to see one. But if you're always open and looking for opportunities, so many of them are going to present themselves to you. It's going to be like opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. And just because your brain is thinking in this way now, it's just going to open up everything for you.
Yeah.
Versus the person that is just accepting of everything. Everything happens to me, not for me. Life.
That is such an important sentence.
Yeah.
Such an important sentence. Because things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Because you look for them to happen to you, because you look for the stuff that can help you grow. I mean, if you're going to focus on shit that's bad, Sure, you could do that, and you would probably be right. But so what?
Yeah.
What is it? So okay, fine. Your life is miserable, and you're right, and everybody hates you, and God hates you, and you are the worst situation of all time. Fine. What good does that do you of acknowledging that? Tell me, because I don't understand. Instead, try to see, wait a minute, what if I look at it the other way around? What if I see life is good, God loves me, everybody else loves me, all I see is opportunity, and Jesus, I can only go up from where I am right now. Guess what? You're still driving, except instead of looking out all over the place and finding nothing, you see the Lambos that you're going to get eventually.
That's what I do all the time, man.
Look
It's a
for
little
those.
bit about manifesting too,
Yeah.
You're looking at all the nice houses, you're looking at all the nice cars, you're like, that's going to be me one day.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Yeah.
You have to believe it too on a certain level, but it's not only about looking at it, believing it, it's about taking the steps. And doing the actions in order
Yeah.
to get it. Because a lot of people talk about manifestation. They talk about like their vision boards and this and that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You're envisioning it, but that's not going to bring it in your life. If you sit back and do all this, but you do nothing to get there, you're never going to get it. So it's really the action, having the vision and taking the action is going to get you there.
It's two steps that are equally important.
Yeah.
First you got to know where you're going, which is important. Then you got to know how you're going to get there. And it's let's use that as a literal example. We're here today. We want to go to New York. How are we going to get there? Are you going to take a plane? Okay, fine. You need to buy tickets. Do you need money to get the tickets? How are you going to get the money? Okay, you can get a job, you can get a contract, you can get a whatever. See, like, you're making it real. You have a goal, you envision it, and then you create steps to reach that goal. And then you're going to reach it because now you know where you're going, you know how you're going to get there. All you need to do is get off the couch, get the money, buy the tickets, board the plane, go to the trip, live your dream, come back home, and then you've lived that experience. And all you've done is really you've created it out of your mind. Mm-hmm. Human beings have that insane ability of creating things. Just create it, guys.
But most
Create
people,
it.
they don't even have the vision. They don't even know where they're going. They're just aimlessly working, but without a purpose, without a vision.
Yeah.
They don't know what they want, or they haven't even planned out what their dream life is.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to get it if you don't even know what it is?
You can't.
If you're
You
not
can't.
looking for it and working towards it, how are you going to get it?
Well, it's literally impossible. Like nothing's
Meaning-
impossible. That's impossible.
Exactly.
Well, that's impossible. How the fuck are you gonna,
Most people go about their lives like that.
Yeah.
Actually, like
Yeah.
they're blind.
And the reason for that is participation trophies. I'm
It
serious.
all goes back to the participation.
But that's what it
trophy.
is because look at it this way.
The cause for all these.
But it's true. It's true. Because if you have 10 teams and one of them won the tournament, you know what the other 9 are going to do? They're going to copy from that 10th one and they're going to maybe have a better shot of winning next year. Now, does that mean that they're going to have a better shot automatically? No, because that 10th one is not going to sit on its ass and do nothing. It's going to keep on training because it's like, holy shit, I won the tournament. I know what actions I have to take to win again. I'll just repeat those actions. But now you know them too. And that's where competition comes in. Competition is healthy. It makes you
good.
better. It makes you stronger. And remember, the goal is not necessarily to win the game. The goal is to become better so that the next time you play the game, you have a better chance at winning. And that's what makes it fun. It's...
If everybody wins, nobody wins.
Well, exactly. And then if everybody wins, how are you going to improve your life?
Uh-huh.
And what's the point of living? Really?
Because in reality, not everybody wins.
Well, no.
Most people don't.
No.
Most people are in massive debt.
Yeah.
They work jobs they hate to pay the bills, to
Yeah.
get by,
Yeah.
to live these lives they hate. Is that winning? That's losing. You're losing life if you're living like that.
And if
you're
you're
just
thinking it's winning,
playing the motions, man. But
Yeah.
then you have other people that are on yachts, have mansions, Lambos, can do whatever they want, whenever they want, have a successful business, multiple successful businesses. Now, who is the winner in this scenario?
on paper. And if you're telling me that there's no winner, I don't believe you.
You're delusional.
You're lying
You're
to
delusional.
me, and you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And you just might be a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, dude, come on. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell me that you're as happy as you're ever going to be.
Probably not.
You can't be. It doesn't work. And honestly, I challenge anybody to come on this podcast with us. It could be anyone, really. We're not that big right now. Please challenge this idea. Explain to us how living a mediocre existence with participation trophy is good for the whole of humanity.
I love
Please,
how we keep bringing up the participation trophy.
But it's the truth, man. Like, it messes everything up. Explain to us, what's the benefit aside, and there's only one benefit I see, is that you as a parent are afraid of telling your child the hard truths. So you're making it easier on you to parent your children.
Yeah.
So because you're too weak to parent your child properly, you're making them weak. And they suffer because of your choices. And you know I'm right deep down inside. And if you think I'm wrong, come here, challenge me. Challenge me with a debate. Don't tell me that I'm a bad person because blah, blah, blah. Challenge me. Challenge me with your ideas. Explain to me how I'm wrong. Please. I don't get it. I've tried and I don't get it.
The fact is, there are winners, there are losers.
We're not going to play in the NBA, either of us. Dude, I'm 40 years old.
No.
I've never played basketball more than a couple of minutes in my life. What are my chances of being drafted in the NBA next year? Fucking zero. What are her chances? She's 5'1".
Zero.
Also zero. Are we bitching about it because it's not fair? No, because we know that that's not part of our skill set. So what do? We become better version of ourselves.
Because at some point you have to face reality.
Yeah.
Be like, this is not it for me. I am not going to succeed in this.
Hmm.
And do something that you will succeed in. And
Yeah.
work on that.
Yeah. We all have limitations. Know them. Know what they are. You know what? Look, this is me, Yuri Sapko, in 2024. I can guarantee you one thing. I will never be able to have a biological child. I can't. It's not going to happen. I don't care what you say. It's not going to happen.
Ooh, hard one for people to hear nowadays though, eh?
Yeah, but it's a big joke. I think everybody's just messing around with that stuff. I don't believe anyone's actually serious about thinking that men can give birth to children.
And
They
if
can't.
you do believe that, man, I feel like you need help, man. And that is my personal opinion that I am entitled to. I think you need some mental help if you actually believe that. And I'm allowed to think that. I'm allowed.
Free country, free speech. I can say whatever the hell I want, and it's not hurting anyone. But the point is, because I can't have a biological child, to me that's a limitation. Because I'm 40, that means that I'm not as athletic as I used to be. So I'm not going to be drafted by any professional sports league. So what are my options here? What am I good at and that I enjoy doing that I can work on? Well, it could be anything. Like right now, for example, talking. I like talking. I'm kind of good at it. I like spending time with my friend. So what are we doing? We're doing a podcast. We're chilling. We're having fun. We're sharing our content with people. Who knows? Maybe it'll pay up eventually. Maybe it won't.
Hey.
The process is fun.
That's it.
Right? And that's the whole idea.
We enjoy it.
Yeah.
We have a vision.
Yeah.
We're taking action.
Yeah.
And if we're consistent, we will succeed.
Exactly. Consistency is the name of the game, really. So again,
Everybody started with zero. 0 followers, 0 clients, 0 customers. Everybody starts with 0 unless you're born with a silver spoon and a
but even
trust
then you
fund.
gotta work for it. Because if not, then what's gonna happen? Are your kids gonna learn to become better because you spent your life like a trust fund baby? No. Hopefully your parents were smart enough to challenge you anyway.
Yeah, life would be on easy mode though, for sure. A lot easier.
Yeah, but would it be fun though?
But,
would you like it?
if it was that easy,
Like imagine always.
I wouldn't be the
since
same
birth.
character.
You couldn't.
I wouldn't be as strong.
There would be no point in being strong. Like, why are you strong now? Because you had to work for everything. Who gave you anything? You even more. You was the other way around. People assumed that you were a certain way because of how you looked, and you had to work extra hard to get credibility.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a flooring contractor who looks the way you do.
Hey, would you have ever guessed?
It's not a positive. It's not a positive. Looking good, it's great, but
It's actually negative.
for you, yeah. And you feel
for some
people
things.
judge you because they look, oh, wait a minute, this is a short, pretty girl. What does she know about flooring? Turns out quite a bit if they listen to you,
Yeah, I know.
but they
a lot.
have to listen to you, right?
Yeah.
So that's blocking you. It's you know, but are you crying about it? No. You get competent. You get good, and because you're so competent and you have experience, word gets around. You know, people trust you, people know you,
Yes.
and people want to work with you, and that's how these things work, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
In a
It's
nutshell,
all about the hard work.
all about the hard work and all about a lack of participation trophies. Look, tell your kids you love them, hug them, kiss them, tell them that they're the best. But at the end of the day, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers, and it's fine.
And be honest
It's part
with
of the
people, especially with kids, man. Just be honest with them. Life is not easy. You have winners, you have losers. The more you put in, the more you're gonna get. That's just the reality. Stop trying to shelter them with the participation trophies and like just blatantly lie to them in that way that everybody's equal, everybody's a winner, because in reality it's not like that. Not everybody's equal. You think you're equal to Elon Musk? Come on. Do you work as much as him? I sure as hell don't.
I don't. I couldn't.
I couldn't either.
And honestly, I don't even want to.
I don't want to either.
I don't want to. I've chosen, I want to be the best dad I can to my son. I want to be able to support my friends. I want to be able to support my family. You know, I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to create. I want to live. I want to enjoy life a little bit. I don't think a guy like that can. But I mean, I respect the shit out of him. I think what he does is admirable, and he's helping save the world every day at a time. And good for him. Honestly, good for him. But that's not who I am. That's never. Maybe it's someone who I will be eventually, but right now, that's not what I want at all. I'm doing what I want right now. I'm talking to people.
Are we equal to him? Are we on the same level
No.
as him? Hell no.
No.
Hell no. And if you think you are, I think you're a little bit delusional.
Well, if you are, how?
Yeah, in what ways?
In what way? Unless, like, the one thing you have in common with that person is, I'm assuming he's human. So maybe you have that in common.
But like to say
That's
that
about it.
we're all equal, everybody has their own strengths, everybody has their own weaknesses. Some people are naturally just more ambitious and work way harder than others.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
some people are lazy and take advantage of social systems.
Yes.
Or,
And isn't
you know.
that the beauty of life? Is the fact that we are so different?
Yes.
Like, in this day and age, I don't know when you're listening to this podcast, but right now in 2024, the big thing in the Western world is about diversity. But let's talk about real diversity. We're all different. We're all, products of our environments, with our genetics, with our interests, with everything that differs us from one person to another. And that's beautiful. So why would you want to change that by making everybody the same? Do you like watching gray walls? Really? I don't. I like colors. I like paint. I like art. You know why? Because it's a bunch of individual particles that are, the sum of which is greater. Sorry, the whole of which is greater than the sum. And that's what art is. It's a bunch of little pixels, a bunch of little paint strokes that you see that create art. And that's what humanity is. We're an artwork. Fucking let us grow, man. Who knows where we're going to end up?
Who knows? Especially with AI.
Especially with AI.
Especially with AI.
Beautiful thing, AI.
It's kind of scary, actually.
That is another. That's an
whole
episode.
episode, yeah.
A series of episodes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Remember that Sora thing?
Sora, we were looking at.
Jesus, we were.
Wow.
Yeah. That was intense.
That's something.
Yeah.
So I guess this is
the end.
the end.
Yeah.
The end.
It's a natural ending point. Hopefully we had some good bloopers on that one.
I
You
hope
think?
so.
Not
as
as
good
many as last time. With
Yeah.
the dog, I think it was
Oh.
more. We have some cat bloopers.
Yeah. A lot easier without Aston.
Aston, le chien.
Aston, le chien. Ah, chien.
My friend, she obviously where I go, but she loves speaking to her dog in French. I don't know why, but she does.
I don't
and
know why.
It's the funniest thing. It's the funniest
Because we
thing.
live in Quebec and he has to be bilingual. You know how our laws are, right?
Yeah, well, you know, you gotta respect the society we live in. So.
I gotta teach him some French.
Yeah. Well, you know, you never know when an inspector's going to show up in your house and ask your dog if you need to speak French or not. That might happen. See, there you go. That's a good one. And, you know, when in doubt, you can always get a cat. They don't talk. So, that's fine.
That was good.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, man. Bye, guys.